Hey YouTubers, it's Dave with HomeServerShow.com. I've got Susan Bradley right there. I've got Mr. Jim Collison right there, and we're going to be talking about Windows 10 installation, especially if you own a home server, or maybe you even own a server R2. I mean, something big. We're going to be talking about that with Windows 10. Now, mind you, this is an audio podcast. We merely broadcast on video in order for us to see each other, so it may be long-winded. You're not going to get everything like in the first 3 minutes. Just kind of giving you a caveat right there before you hit the down button. And you already hit the down button already. Okay, never mind. Go to homeservershow.com and talk with us. homeservershow.com/forums if you'd like to talk in depth about some of these lovely topics. And you know, I've got some really ugly stuff behind me today. I don't know what I was thinking. I just ran up here. Okay. So we got that out of the way. I'm going to close Twitter.
Isn't that an HP microserver behind you, though?
That is. You like him?
Yeah, he was cute.
Brings back some good memories.
I know.
He's my first. Or I should say she.
Oh, she. Yeah.
I've got my HP N54L in pieces over there because I want it to become a Sophos router. And it's fighting me. So I have nostalgia everywhere. So let's go on. I got a couple of viewers on YouTube. YouTubers, if you're watching live, you would like to chat with us, you can go over to homeservershow.com/live or homeservershow.com, and you can click the live button. It's at the top. You can't miss it. There's a chat there, and you can just chat with us for free. You don't have to log in. You don't have to do anything like that. So. Hey guys, in the chat room, I see you. We are live. We are live. Got meetup coming. It's around the corner.
Dave, fate is trying so hard to make me cancel the meetup.
No, you cannot cancel
it. It is. Listen, there are so many obstacles that I've had to overcome just in the last 2 weeks. I'm still there, but it is for whatever reason. Fate has got my number, and it keeps throwing things in my way. Okay, Jim, can you overcome this one? Can you overcome this one? Can you overcome this one? I mean, I've moved things around. I've gotten people to fill in for me. I have to fly in at this point. So,
Jim, it cannot happen. I have already purchased gag gifts. That's how committed I am.
Well, I may be coming from the airport, which isn't such a bad thing. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'll be honest
have to get a sound system.
Fate is throwing me some curveballs too. So I'm working on said curveball, major curveball for Meetup, and I'm not going to announce it yet. But when I get it all figured out, I'll let everybody know.
That's crazy, man. It wants to knock me down.
I know. There's going to be a rocket hit the hotel or something. Where did this meteor come from? Somebody said they like my shirt, but I got my Windows 10 shirt here.
Nice.
I've been waiting like 3 months to wear this. 3 months. Yoda got his QNAP. I got mine right here. You remember the last podcast I did? Well, I sat it on the floor. Yeah, in November 2014. I sat this on the floor, and that's where it's remained. So I got the same one. I can't wait to get it running, but sadly, I have not. I will do that. Someday school will start, and I will have some time. 6-layer Vinyl Freak, Yoda, Assistive Tech, J Minor. Hey, Joe. Welcome, guys. Welcome. All right, YouTubers, homeservershow.com/forums to chat with us in the future. Homeservershow.com/live to chat with us right now. I'm going to start this podcast. This is a Home Server Show podcast, episode number 286, recorded on Windows 10 Day. It's July 29th, 2015. Welcome back to the Home Server Show. I'm Dave, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Jim Collison.
Greetings, Dave. Happy Wednesday night to you, and excited to be back on a Home Server Show.
Me too. It's nice to be back in the chair, and it's also doubly nice to have Susan Bradley in the chair with us. How are you doing tonight, Susan?
I'm doing good. It's 106 degrees outside, and I'm inside with the air conditioner pumping away.
Wow.
Power grid's
Wow.
keeping up, so hey, we're good.
We're good. We're going to get through this, and I can keep you here as long as possible in the nice air conditioned room, and that way you don't have to venture outside and go home.
Exactly.
All right. Well, it is awesome to have Susan here tonight, and we do this, once a quarter, once every 6 months, and we get the update on, how small business server, essential server, and all that kind of businessy side is doing, and how Susan integrates that into her life, into her business life, and all that kind of good stuff. So that is awesome to have Susan. You can find her on Twitter at SBSDiva, and that's the blog as well, right, Susan?
Right. It mainly it just like republishes the blog content. I kind of lurk on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter-ish, too much into Twitter, but
That's right. You're an emailer.
I'm an emailer.
Yes.
Yep.
Forums lurker, forums participant. But where's that blog? Where can I find that? And I'll get that in the...
Just sbsdiva.com. The true site is blogs.msmvps.com/Bradley, but that's too long to remember, so just go to sbsdiva.com.
sbsdiva.com. Excellent. So don't forget, everybody listening out there in podcast land, we are a member of the Geeks Network. TheGeeksNetwork.com. You can find more podcasts like this one. Is there a podcast in you? Okay.
And before we go any farther, can I say one thing?
Please.
A big shout out and thank you to all of the guys in the home server forums, because of people like you out there that find things like the lovely... Shall we start with the scab? Can I pick the scab right up front?
Please. Yeah, I know. I'm cringing already. This is going to be one heck of a show.
You know what's coming.
Take it
Okay,
away,
so
Susan.
the security patch of MS 15-10, that lovely security patch that broke the restore console, came to light because of you guys in the forums. So a heads up, thank you to all you guys, and you were the ones that figured out what exact security patch it was, and for the longest time kept, like, every single month that went by and every single kernel update that had it built into it, you kept saying, take off this one, take off that one, take off that one. I mean, we were stripping down to our undies by the time, the fix came out. Now, the bad news is, that everyone probably knows about, so this is not news, is it is in a hotfix form. It is not, like, built into Microsoft Update, which I am not happy about, and none of you guys in the forums are happy about. It's one of those, I'm to the point in my life, it's kind of, I'm jaded stage. It is what it is. I've jumped up and down, and I've had a hissy fit, and I even, like, emailed up the food chain, and it, basically we've fought as best as we can. What I'm asking for now is there's something, now that 10 is out the door, there is a promised Windows 7, what they call courtesy roll-up. Okay, that is not going to be Service Pack 2. It's not going to be called Service Pack 2, but you and I are going to call Windows 7 courtesy roll-up. We're going to call it a Service Pack 2, because it's basically going to let us, anytime we build a brand new Windows 7, it means we won't sit there for like 2 days waiting for the 172 updates to be installed. So they're going to roll it up in one big update so that we can get it down in one. So I've asked, I can't guarantee anything, but I've asked that hotfix be put into that roll-up. Okay. Again, no guarantees.
Okay.
But if there's any kind of, this is my ask for everybody, this is the time to make it social. Kind of push it out on Twitter, tweet to Satya, do your thing in the forums. The more we do customer pain stories, the more we can say, hey guys, we need to do it right by customers and put it into a place where you don't have to go find a hotfix. I mean, it's really annoying to me right now that first you have to know that this thing, you have a problem. And for you guys in the forums, you have the problem. But I'm worried about all the other people that, the occasional users of the Essentials product, that it's only going to be like after they get nailed with like ransomware that they're going to go, hey, I can't restore because the console, croaks on them. And then they're going to have to now Google and find, why is this breaking? So, I mean, it's just a not good story in my personal opinion.
Okay, well, Susan, you bring up a great point, and that is the folks in the forums know what we're talking about. Back
Yeah.
me up just a little bit. What if someone out there doesn't know what you're talking about? So take me to step
Yeah.
one.
Okay, so step one is they have done their cyber civic duty, and they've installed updates on their Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 clients.
Okay.
So they've gone along and been a good person and installed the updates, and in particular they've installed MS 1510, which was way back, when was that? February, March? March. I think it's March. So they've installed an update way back, a kernel update way back in March. So along comes maybe some really bad thing, and they need to restore a particular file. They don't need to do a bare metal restore. Bare metal restores still work. But they need to go back and restore an individual file. So they do what they normally do, is they go down to the little home connector in the corner, fire up the console, log in, and attempt to pull back some files. That restore console fails. It freezes up, and it will collapse down and say not responding and fail. So then you're going, what is it, a .NET? We love to blame things on .NET. So we'll start to go, is it me? Is it my connectivity? Whatever. So they finally get around to Googling the error message, restore console freezes. And hopefully then they'll find the home server forums, or hopefully they'll find the SBS blog post, which goes into the detail. And the resolution at this time is you have to install a hotfix on the clients only. You don't have to put it on the server, but you have to put this hotfix on the clients. Once you put the hotfix on the clients, then everything is fine, and the restore console works.
So we're talking about Essentials R2 here?
Essentials R2 does not occur on home server. I mean, that's the crazy thing. There's two issues lately: the connector for Windows 10, and this issue where security patches makes the console freeze up, only occur on the latest and greatest platform, the R2. So if you have Essentials R2, and it's either, it can also be, so it's the, let me remember all the OEMs that have built it. So it's going to be Western Digital's latest and greatest.
Right. What's that?
It's going to be
That
Thecus.
Asian company. Thecus,
Yeah.
yes.
It's going to be Thecus. And then it's going to be if you built your own.
Right.
So if you have the original home server 2011 that's still cranking away, this will not impact you at all.
Okay.
I know that's what's crazy about it. It's on the latest and greatest one that all these things are occurring.
Okay, I will try to. I need to find this in the forums as well and see who opened this up.
Steve, hold on. I can probably find it.
You know exactly where it's at. Essentials R2. Problems restoring files from client backup.
That's it.
Steve Pitts.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got 12,000 views. That
Oh,
topic.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Susan, I've got 10 up now on the screen there, if you take a look at that. And I've got the connector. I've already downloaded the client connector from my R2 box. And I have the hotfix that you put in the show notes. I assume that's the hotfix that I have there, right? I tried installing the connector from scratch earlier. It fails. So at this point, it fails out on me. So I'm assuming, what's the instructions for new users who are coming up on 10 that don't have a connector on there? Do I need to install the hotfix first and then put the connector on?
Correct.
Okay.
So let's go, and what they're talking about is the latest and greatest one up on the website today. If you go to the SBS blog, also Essentials blog, blogs.technet.com/SBS.
Okay, just to get this back on track here, this is a brand new topic. We're not.
Brand new topic. Okay, so
1510 is done.
close that one. MS 1510 has a hotfix and will only be fixed by that hotfix.
Right, and that is the individual client file restore issue. Okay, MS.
And that impacts 7 and 8. 7 and 8.1.
All right, we're back on the rails, and then we're going to anybody.
Close the door on that. Opening up a brand new book.
There, right, that has installed Windows 10. So let me start it real simple here. I've got Windows 7, I've got Windows 8, whatever. I've got my connector installed, and I update to Windows 10. So what happens at that point, Susan?
Everybody I've seen, the only time somebody's had a problem in the updating, if they've already had the connector on and they're going up to 10, the only time I've seen somebody had a problem was they had to redo the wireless network install. Somebody kept having issues doing backups, and he found that he just reinstalled the wireless network card driver, and then it fixed it back up. This is for brand new, so you install either a brand new Windows 10, or let's say you want to do what I'm going to call an old-fashioned install, where you did an in-place and you've been playing around with the insider build and you have build upon build, and now you want to do a brand new clean install of Windows 10. So you start over and there's no connectors installed left at all on the box, and you now want to connect it to your Essentials 2012 R2. You'll go and run the connector install, and it says, sorry, no go. It will not even attempt to install.
Wow. Is there a specific error, or does it just stop and go away?
It won't even there isn't a specific.
It just doesn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
No, there is a specific error.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look it up real quick. Hold on.
I mean, I can try it as well.
Sometimes you put errors out of your mind. You're like, oh yeah, generic error. But I think
it doesn't. It's really irrelevant. It throws an error first thing from the connector, right? So you grab the connector, you click in, you go to the website, you go to connect, you download it, you go to install it, boom, it just throws an error right away. You can't do anything. So actually, here's the error right here. Let me show it to you.
Does it say, please contact your IT administrator?
Yeah, it says unexpected error has occurred. To resolve this issue, contact the person responsible for your network.
Yes, which is usually you. And you're sitting there going, okay, what's wrong?
At this point, yes.
Okay, I have it right there too, so I was gonna go through this with you. So I'm gonna download software. So if you've forgotten, that's the server name /connect. I was like, typed it in, like, what the heck? Oh, connect. All right, we're gonna run that. So I trust it.
To fix this issue, and I have to give kudos to the team. They were a little bit slow in getting the blog post out because we were going like, guys, it is kind of coming up, you guys, we've got this day that they've been talking about for months, you might want to post about it. So they just came out today, thankfully, with the connector update that what you have to do is you have to manually download it and put it on your client side.
Okay, client side. So
it's on the client side.
You run the connector, it just stops. It doesn't even search for server. It just stops it. Okay, and then
it says go talk to your person in charge of your network.
Right.
So
I just saw that. I get UAC.
Talk to your wife.
So an unexpected error has occurred. To resolve this issue, contact the person responsible for your network.
Go talk to your wife, in other words.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I have another issue here. Oh, it's trying to run again. Yikes! I must have clicked it like 10 times. Sorry.
And also we should bring up for anybody running. And here's the crazy thing too: for anybody running the older versions, you don't have a problem. It's only on the 2012 R2.
So 2011 and heaven forbid version 1 works?
I don't know about version 1. I haven't tried back that far.
Guys,
but
listening, version 1.
For sure it will work.
Report back.
Yes.
Do I need to fire it up? It's sitting right here.
I think you need to fire it up, yes.
I have a version 1 sitting right there. Lovely HP server. All right, so there are hot fixes. There is a blog announcement.
Also, too, on this one, if you want to wait until October, if you absolutely positively just don't want to play with Windows 10 at this time, and you kind of want to wait for, you guys to work out all the bugs, and there are some bugs that we're already seeing today. If you want to wait till the Windows update for business comes out, because a lot of people are saying that there's going to be releases in the fall, and for businesses in particular, that fall is going to be when there's going to be a second iteration of Windows 10. So if you want to wait a little bit, this package will be installed automatically to the server in October. So by the time October rolls around, the fix will automatically be in the connector software on the server.
Okay.
So this is basically for anybody bleeding edge between now and October. You're going to have to do some manual adjustments. You're going to have to pull down this package. But if you wait until October, they're going to bring it down to the server itself.
Wow. Okay, this is a lot of information. Maybe you guys listening out in the chat room, somebody start an FAQ and start taking notes. We need to get this in the forums. We need an FAQ. What's going on? What's going to happen? That way, there's not 40 different requests for how come this is not working? How come that's not working? We also need someone version 1 to report back with a Windows 10 machine. I may just do that on mine. Just that gives me a reason to fire up the old HP microserver over there. So, I said microserver. Media Smart Server. There you go.
Make the Christmas lights go.
Exactly. Just that product should still be around. Sorry, we won't open that can of worms.
Maybe we can get a cameo in the next Star Wars.
There you go. Put that on the Millennium Falcon. In the lounge area,
yes,
where Jedi Knights practice to be warriors, they first must download the version 1 connector. Okay, so we've got connectors out of the way. It works, right? Susan, you said there's minor problems here and there. Can we back up? Can we restore?
If you don't have 2012 R2 on the other ones, you can back up and restore just fine on the older platforms. And even once you get clean 10 connected to a 2012. Once you get this connector installed, you're good to go.
Okay.
DieHard is reporting that V1 works with Windows 10 if you don't use a GPT system drive for your PC. Hey, way to go.
I just saw that. DieHard, Mr. Johnny Zadler, in the chat room representing. John, we should have you on this podcast. We'll get you on the next one. Windows Home Server version 1 works with Windows 10 if you don't use a GPT system drive for your PC. So assuming you have a small drive, which a lot of folks do, but some of the newer PCs do not. So that'll be interesting to see you guys banter back and forth with that. Thank you, John, for that. All right, so I'm good with that. We can download the hotfix. Otherwise, it'll be on the server.
And I'm going to shift back to the hotfix question on the MS1510 security patch.
Okay, we're going
back. For anybody who is concerned about hotfixes and they're not tested, in this case we have tested it. The issue is, and I'm going to be blood honest about this, because of the market space and because this is what they consider to be a bit of a corner case, they're not pushing it out into the full Windows 7 client. The reason why we can get the connector is because it can go on to the server itself. So it impacts less number of clients.
True. I can understand that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know people will complain about it, but
I mean, a lot of people go, well, gee, especially when you go online and request the hotfix, you get all this legal mumbo jumbo of, this has not been regression tested, you're going to blow up Cleveland and, all this warning stuff.
Oh, Cleveland.
So don't, rest assured that it has been gone through a normal testing. I mean, I consider it the same as every normal security patch, which you may or may, you may argue that isn't tested either, but, be that as it may, don't feel that it doesn't have a certain level of quality. It does.
Right. Well, guaranteed, no Clevelanites were hurt during the recording of this podcast.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, and I can't get the connector, the 2011 connector to install on Windows 10 either. So it errors out in the middle of the install. So both seem to be. So Susan, I don't know about 2011.
How about your DNS?
I will let them know. And sometimes you never know, especially with the connector in general. I mean, sometimes I have a situation here at the office where I have to stop my print server, delete out certain files because it thinks that there's pending files. I have a specific printer driver that always holds that connector up, and I have to jump through hoops and scratch my back and count to 10 and jump on one foot to make it install.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard with the connector. It may not be issue you think. It may just be
Right.
the connector doing weird stuff.
Well, we run OpenDNS, and that is a notorious problem for
Right.
connectors, and so that could be that problem as well.
And if
You're right. There's a lot of other things that have to go into it.
anyone listening, you just
But I've
check
never
your
seen this kind of
DNS.
error before. Typically, those DNS problems are like, hey, I can't do this, and this is just erroring out. I'm getting that I crapped out in the middle of the install type thing.
Okay.
So for anybody else out there, if you are running the 2011, hit me on Twitter, hit me on email. Susan at msmvps.com works pretty well. Sometimes my Packbell email address gets flagged by spam filters. But hit me on email and reach out to me, and I'll make sure that the product team sees that, because it's supposed to work.
Well, nice timing. I just got the pop-up, the backup notification. Backup completed successfully. I'm still on 8.1, but it's like not during the podcast. How many times do I have to tell you? Do not back up during the podcast. All right, we've gone through a lot of information in a very short time. I hope you're taking notes. If not, you can go to homeservershow.com. On the front page, there is a audio player. Just start it at work, listen to it again. We will all survive. We will get through this together. If you're listening on Google Plus or on YouTube, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You will get more. You will see Jim. You'll see you will see myself and Susan. And also, you will be able to get any kind of reviews we do in the future. Also, you can chat with us right now. homeservershow.com/live. There's a free chat room. Guys are talking connectors and all kinds of good stuff in there. Okay. Now, I want to talk future. I mean, Windows 10's future, but now it's kind of here. So I'm going to get into a little bit more of Windows 10 here in a minute. But I want to talk server. Susan, what is going on in server land with Microsoft? Because we're talking about Server 2012. I know it's R2, which is like Server 2013. But still, this is 2 and 3 years in nomenclature behind.
It's actually not 2012. Well, you mean the current one is 2012 R2, yes.
Correct.
There is a 2016 out in beta preview, and my goodness, the server team has been very quiet.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see now that 10 is out the door, if we start to see more, because there's what I call 3 versions of 2016 out there right now. And the reason why, I'll explain why I say there's 3 versions. So there's a 2016 Essential SKU, the SKU as we know it right now, the NASI kind of, minimum 25 users, no cows, all that kind of stuff is still in the lineup. You can actually, if you have access to, in fact, I think if you go out there, it's not even TechNet. I think you can even request it. Let me look. Server 2016 beta. I think you can sign up and get the preview. Yeah, Windows Server Technical Preview. The 2016 Essential SKU is out there. The Essential SKU will actually install it with what's called the full GUI, as I call it. So it's got the console as we know it. It's got the connector as we know it. We've actually given some feedback to the team saying, hey, for the next version of 2016, are you really sure you want everything? Because I see more and more people asking for, I want the backup, but I don't want the remote web access, or I want the remote web access, but I don't want the backup, or they want, the ability to hook into Office 365, but they don't want the client backup. I mean, they want to kind of mix and match.
Wow, isn't that dangerous? I mean, you're almost creating a home SKU at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, some people, again, we have people that want a NAS unit only, and they don't want a domain. They want that.
Now, that's your home unit right there.
Yes.
I think that would be very beneficial, as long as you can get it priced.
Yep. Yep.
But I mean, if you did that and you limited the connector installs to 10, I mean, boom, you got a home SKU.
And then a lot of people who are asking, do we have to install the connector every time? Because especially both in terms of it still is a bother to install that connector all over the place, and then let's especially when there's issues. If it works fine and you're in a perfect world and the home server gods smile upon you, you're good. But when that connector has installation issues, sometimes you want to drive up to Redmond and wring their little necks. Because
definitely, I mean, if you're pushing the connector license, I mean, to its limit, yes, you are visiting a lot of desktops.
Yes.
Whether via SneakerNet or remote desktop.
Right.
That could be a mess. I guess when I think about it, and I think about my personal, I run Server 2012, and I run the Essentials role. That's here in my home, and honestly, I use it less and less and less and less. I'm thinking about just undomaining my house. And I don't know if I want to do it now in this server iteration or if I want to wait until server 2016. But it's going to happen one way or the other.
And especially, I mean, you look at the changes in Azure and all that. I mean, because a lot of people are starting to use Azure. And let me get the names right. Azure Direct Sync, Active Sync.
Uh-oh, Jim.
Hang on.
You're up.
It's the brand new Azure. See, I can't even remember all the names.
I haven't used it yet.
It's the one that's replacing DirSync.
Correct. Or what was the other one you said? Azure Directory
it's
Sync.
Taking the replacement. It's Azure Active Directory Sync. It's taking the place of DirSync.
Right.
I'm starting to see people. We're kind of in this awkward transition stage of where people are starting to go, hey, there's different ways to connect to Office 365, and quite frankly, Office 365 is evolving, and Azure Active Directory is getting better and better and evolving. So people are and also Windows 10 is just out today, and Windows 10 can join an Azure Active Directory domain and does not need to join a local domain first. Before you had to join a local domain first, and then you could join an Azure Active Directory, and now you don't have to do that with 10. 10 can go straight to an Azure Active Directory.
Okay, the Pro product, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
So as we start to, as the Azure Active Directory pieces start to change, and kind of, we get less, clear-cut reasons of why you need a domain, on site, and why you need the Office 365 Essentials kind of, directory sync there. And now that they're introducing different ways to do the password synchronization, yeah, I mean, it's starting to get a little interesting to say, what's going to happen? I mean, we clearly have an Essentials 2016 product, but looking even farther down the road, what's going to happen and what are they going to do in, 2018 and 2020? So we'll have to see what comes up.
Well, that seems a long way off, doesn't it? Yeah. You say 2020?
Well, plan now. Windows 7 end of life is 2020. Plan now. Start those upgrades now.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's boss out there is just like, yeah.
Yeah, I know quite a few businesses that just finished up their XP to Windows 7 migration. So
exactly. They're like, don't even come to me with anything that remotely resembles the word upgrade. Get out of my office, Johnson. Go fix the printer.
Speaking of which, for those of you behind a 2012 R2, you guys are on a domain because the 2012 R2 forces a domain. Correct. You probably haven't seen the Windows 10 reservation icon down there, and you're wondering, can I get that? Out today is a Windows 10 ISO media creator. You can basically take any device that already has Windows 10, go out there, bring down that ISO, stick it on a flash drive, and especially for anybody who's a consultant and you don't want to bring down 2 gigs of Windows 10 over and over again, put the there you go. Put the ISO in your device, bring that Windows 10 image down, and then go use that flash drive to go to your machines, even inside your domain, and you can do the upgrade.
I should try this right now because, okay, I got in trouble today. I did a faux pas. I have this Surface 3 is Windows Insider, so I'm supposed to know better, right? Right here. It is joined to Insider. So midnight came around and nothing happened. I was expecting Santa Claus to pop out with a Windows 10 sticker, and slap it on my forehead or something, or at least on the back of my Surface and say, "There you go, Dave. Have fun." But he didn't. So I clicked the link that said download either 64-bit or 32-bit. I said, fine, I will download it. And then it asks you, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to install it to this PC right now, or do you want to put it on an external device to install to other machines later? And that's what I chose. And then I made my fateful mistake. I chose Pro. And you all know Surface 3 is home. So when it got to the install, it said, "Dave, where's your key?" And it didn't say, "Hey, you're trying to install Pro onto home. You need a key, Dort." No, it just said, "I need a key." I'm like, oh, man, are you kidding me? So I wrote that up. Hey, this is messed up. And after, it took several hours, and then someone's asked me, Edbot said, "Did you choose Pro instead of Home? Maybe? I'm like, curses you, Edbot. You got me again. No, I was happy to see it. I was happy to see that one fixed. That's like a check. So many things are going bad with this install and keys and confusion. It's just like, okay, we got one checked off. Beautiful. So I edited my note at the very top. I didn't even go to the bottom and let you read all the way through. I edited at the top and said, look, I'm a moron. I screwed up. I'm a horrible journalist. I just play a podcaster every Wednesday night. Cut me some slack. But here's some pretty pictures. So, but I do have this. Shall we try? Let's try.
He's going to put it on his podcasting machine.
As we speak.
See you, Dave.
Do it live.
See ya.
Let's do some reboots. Okay. Bye. Okay, I'm double-clicking setup. UAC.
I will warn you as you do the upgrade live, I will warn you about two issues we are tracking. And one of them doesn't necessarily just impact Surface devices, but you guys in Surface, especially the Surface Pro, may have the VPN software. If you have older Cisco VPN software installed, make sure you uninstall it before you do the process.
Okay.
Because when you get
Cisco
done...
AnyNet?
I'm sorry?
Cisco AnyNet? Any kind of Cisco?
AnyConnect. Cisco AnyConnect VPN software, pull it off before you do the upgrade. You will end up with no networking stack when you get done.
No networking stack whatsoever. Because Cisco does interject their protocols there in the stack. Okay.
So that's number one. And that one is not just unique to Surface. That's in general. Anybody who's got a business-style device and you've got that Cisco AnyConnect VPN software, pull it off ahead of time, because otherwise you're going to either be rolling back to 8.1 to try it again, or you're going to be clean installing your 10.
Okay.
So that's one.
Can you guys see this? Does the chat see this?
Yeah, we see. They should.
Preparing 44%.
Okay. Does okay, what the hell's going to happen here? I'm on a domain, right?
Yep, you're blowing up Cleveland.
I am going to hurt someone in Cleveland, and I don't want to, really. What's going to happen here? I know we're not going to get this done by the time the podcast's in, but is my domain stuff going to be okay, Susan?
It should, yeah, as long as you don't have the Cisco VPN, everything, they have designed this to do in-place upgrades. And mainly the reason is because if you think about it, Azure, as we do more and more cloud, they can't do clean installs easily in Azure. They've got to go from build to build in Azure. So if they don't work the bugs out of in-place upgrades, I mean, this will be interesting to see how many IT pros, that we've for so long it's been driven into us. Oh, you need to do clean installs. Oh, you need to do clean installs, and they really want us to do in place, because we're in the Windows as a service era where they want us to stop waiting for service packs, and they want us to stop waiting for the next version, because they want us to keep going and do this build-to-build stuff.
It kicked me out. Oh, it wants me to do. You guys see that now?
Yeah.
It wants me to download.
Go ahead, because don't do it not right now. Go ahead and do that, because they pull down additional drivers and fixes in the background.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to wreck the HD of the, or should I just say skip and do it? I like to download it now, though. Makes me feel bad if I don't. Someone in Redmond goes, oh.
Especially in 10, and especially as the month goes by. I mean, starting today, they are in the background, madly looking at the feedback, and they're looking at, the, what do they call it, the not the Dr. Watsons, but it's the feedback loops. They've got a name for it. But they're looking at that information coming back, and each week, I mean, you kind of saw it if you were an insider. My goodness, the number of updates we had in the last week. I mean, it was like, 1 or 2 a day, and they all called themselves cumulative security update for July, but what they were is they were building in fixes and fixes and fixes. So they're going to kind of do the same thing for the first month. This first month of updating, they're looking very, very closely. I mean, it's all men on deck, all women on deck, getting this feedback and if there's any driver issues, I'm sure they're going to have a fix pretty soon. Automatic fix for the Cisco VPN. They'll probably even kick you back out saying, "I'm sorry, you need to uninstall this before you start." They'll pretty soon have that in there.
That makes me worry now, because what I haven't done is, when you got the Windows 10 Insider and you signed up for download, you were able to run that little piece of software on your PC, and it said, "Hey, everything looks good." I have not done this on this one.
My understanding, and correct me, those in the live chat room, let me know. My understanding is that even on the ISO, it's supposed to let you run that. But I could be wrong, because I haven't done it yet myself.
Okay, well, what the hell? I'll do it when we hang up. I will do that. You know what I do have to do? I do want to. Maybe if it requires a reboot, I do have some of those like Stardate. Those little programs that mimic the old. I have some of those installed, and the one that does the window puts Windows 8.1 Metro apps in a window. I have that installed as well. So I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to jump over to Windows 10. What the heck? I'm just going to do it.
The other thing I'm tracking, and again, it's really early right now, is the Surface 3 LTE units, the ones that just came out from AT&T. And there's going to be unlocked ones coming out in August?
Yeah, but Susan, honestly, I heard they only sold one of those, and who the hell bought that?
Gee, somebody maybe in Fresno, California. Well, there's 2 other people, because
just one.
Yes, no, there's 2 other people, because in the Surface forums for Windows 10, there's 3 people that have upgraded already to 10.
Okay.
And they're saying that when they upgraded, the video card driver is now a generic Microsoft driver, which then screws up the webcam, which then screws up the battery life. So I know that's an investigation right now from one of the Surface support guys. So if you have a Surface 3 LTE unit, again, hang back. My understanding too is there's going to be some upgrades for the LTE drivers in general coming out. Because these things just got certified, and literally they just came out. I ordered mine on Friday. It came overnight and was here on Monday.
Awesome.
So they're literally brand spanking new off the presses.
Well, how did you? I mean, did you have a chance to get that thing out and test drive it your Surface 3 LTE before you tried this?
You mean this? Well, I have prior to this, I have 2 other Surface RT units. Yes, the will not be able to go to Windows 10, but we'll get some updates. Poor little guys, rest in peace.
Hey,
RT units.
no, he's still
And
busy.
one of them
Look,
actually,
he's right
yes.
here.
I know. I
He's got a
shouldn't say that in
job.
front of him.
It has.
He's going to.
Yes,
His feelings will get hurt.
correct.
So I have an RT unit that has LTE in it, and I love it because, especially when you want a self-contained, and I have people that I want to make sure that no matter what happens, they have internet connectivity, and they don't. You know how you've got geeky people that can handle hotspots on their phones, and other people that you go, no, I'm going to set this up to be just totally self-contained, and it will work, and they don't have to worry anything. So I love that RT unit. The only drawback is they only put the LTE, the cellular, on the RT, and as you know, you can't install anything worth a darn on the RT units.
Correct.
So you were kind of stuck. So when I finally heard that they were going to bring the cellular out on the Surface 3, it was like, yay! And even better, as you well know, and I'm sure you guys have already talked about this, which I did not realize until it showed up this week, is the Surface 3 units have a plain old micro USB connector. So if you were on the road and you want to charge it, it's not like the Pro where it has the nice funky one. It is a plain old micro USB connector, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can use any cable, and I don't have, I can, pack one cable, and I don't have to take the 47 trillion cords that I normally do when I travel. And it was like, I was okay that it's not magnetic, but it was like, I was like going, oh my gosh, it's a normal cable.
You know what I found myself doing even more is charging my phone with my Surface 3 charger. Yeah. I just slap it on the bottom. Sometimes it heats it up a lot, but charges fast.
Yes.
Okay, where was I going? Okay, no, Surface 3 LTE. I would like to just ask you a couple questions. Is it carrier specific? Is it unlocked? Do you have to choose? Does it boot up? Does it have nomenclature? Are there stickers? Did you get any fanfare?
The one that I have is unique to AT&T, and it is tied to the AT&T system. It came in this, I should have done an unboxing picture because you guys would have died. Okay, so while it was in the normal Surface box once you finally got into the box, but the box that came from AT&T was this ugly, huge thing, and then I opened it up and I'm like, this is not a good unboxing experience at all. I know, it was like the ugliest, horrible, large, and I'm looking at the back, hang on.
Okay, there's the keyboard.
Yes, it does have the AT&T logo on the back side next to the Microsoft. You probably just looked down my chest, didn't you?
Well, we tried not to. I switched to camera view to keep you humbled.
Thank you. So on the back...
Sorry, Cleveland.
On the back. Yes. On the back of the device where the normal Microsoft logo is, there's a little AT&T Globe logo as well.
Really?
Yes.
They didn't like put it right over this, did they?
Nope.
Okay.
It's like right next to it.
Okay. Very well. That's fine.
Now the ones coming out, is it T-Mobile is next. I have not heard about Verizon. A lot of people want Verizon, have not heard, but they are coming out. My understanding in August they're coming out with a unlocked one that you can then go to any carrier and say, hey, hook it onto your system.
Well, will that have a CDMA radio? I mean, sometimes they just put all those LTE bands in there, and that's fine. But
I will warn you from personal experience, because I also have a Lenovo that I bought from the Lenovo website, not from the AT&T website, but it had an AT&T cellular chip. And that one you had to then call up AT&T and say, hey, can you hook it up to your system? Here's the TDMI number or whatever the thing is. You have to be the absolutely most patient person in the universe. You have to be in a happy, calm place, because to have it not come from AT&T, you have to almost find the department that talks to Lenovo, that gave them the numbers, that gave them the chip cards, that then goes, oh yeah, that is one of ours. Let's then turn it on. It takes about 24 hours for them to
Wow.
say, oh yeah, it is one of ours, isn't it? And multiple calls, and like I said, you literally have to be in a happy, calm place, because you will not be in a happy, calm place by the time you get done. If you buy it directly from AT&T, like I did this Surface unit, piece of cake. It's already enabled. It's already turned on. You just boot up the machine. If you think of in terms of on the right-hand side where you swipe in and turn on your networking,
Mm-hmm.
it is literally just another icon right there. It's just another little network blip on the side. It gives you the option of AT&T wireless. You then connect and you're on, and it actually connects. Usually for me, it connects on faster than Wi-Fi.
Interesting. I wonder if they've got
Really
something
fast.
planned for Windows 10, because that's, that
And
changes.
here's another thing that I was surprised off. If you are an AT&T existing customer and you have a mobile share plan, you literally can add this to your mobile share plan for only $20 a month. The price, or no, excuse me, $30 a month, because it's $20 to, you're buying, the cheapest way to buy it is $20 purchase over time, like the AT&T Plus plan or whatever they're calling it.
Okay.
So it's $20 per month for 20 months, and then it's $10 to slide it into your mobile share plan.
Okay, so $10 for the access to the network, but $20 hardware payment.
Correct. Now you can buy it in full outright, which I believe is $599. But if you want like a really less painful way of getting it, it's literally only $20 for the hardware per month for the next
That's interesting. That's interesting. That makes it seem really worth it. You know,
Yes.
I used to have an LG tablet that was on Verizon, and its LTE modem was just fantastic. It would get better service than my phone would. So like this past year at CES, in my hotel room, I would set up the Lenovo tablet, set it at the window, and have it hotspot for me. And it was faster than me using my phone. And then I also got to use my my Surface Pro. So I can almost see that being the case for Surface 3 LTE.
And before I forget it, remind me that I am signing up to go to I went to CES this year. Did not realize you were there, but then again, with 170,000 people, who knew?
Yeah, I wish I'd have known you were there. Yeah, that was this past CES was very trying for me. I was do I want to be like beat feet reporter, or do I want to just soak up CES? And I had a hard time with that because I didn't have anybody to hang out with. A couple of people I know didn't come, and so I didn't have.
Bail on you again?
Jim hits mute.
Oh man, yeah, he's ragging on me. It's all right.
And I got tired. I wore myself out trying to be this beat reporter, getting all this information, where I should have just said, you know what, chill pill. Just enjoy CES and do what you do, have fun. So are you going to, what is it going to be, 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, and I have to show you, I got some of these for home, and I actually got one at the office. Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to do show and tell.
Okay.
I have to get it.
Jim and I will talk. So
Yes.
Jim, this puts me in a tough position because I do love CES, but we've got MVP Summit. Got to pay to get out there. Then I've got the meetup, and the meetup kills me paying for all that stuff. And then I got to pay for Vegas. And literally, you have to pay for Vegas now. So I literally have to pay for Vegas now, and then you and I will be getting our flights soon to Seattle. We have to pay for that now, and then I got to pay for meetup. So it's a pain in the wallet.
It's a big whammy until you get to the end of the year. You got Christmas in there, and the CES right behind it, and podcast or NEB and has been in there, right? NEB with the podcasters. But now I want to say podcast movement, but that's the one that's coming up. So they hit all, and I think that moved this year to April, but it's still like bang, bang, boom.
Yeah, I'm glad they moved that because I got to have my CES. Okay.
Yeah, sort of, except
What do you got
April.
for
me?
Yeah.
Susan.
So you ready to see my show and tell?
Oh my God, it's a Roomba.
It's a Roomba.
She's
Nice.
into home
This
automation.
needs to go on Home Gadget Geeks.
Why is it at the office?
Because we loved it so much at home, and we have lousy janitors.
Okay.
And we have, this year in particular, because of the drought, we have bugs that love to come in. I shouldn't say this out publicly because nobody will want to come to the office, but we have bugs that come in, and we will bring clients into the office, and there's these lovely, because we have pest control people that fortunately kill the bugs, but they'll just like crawl into the office and like keel over and be in the middle of the carpet.
Okay. So instead you've got bugs running from mechanical, vacuums.
It sucks them up, yes.
No! The Roomba's coming. I love those things.
So how's it working for you? I mean, you set it, forget it. Does it run at a certain time? Has it got a base station that it's attached to? Is it making it back on the base station?
So this one at the office, I have it set to do like the back of the office. I almost need to have two. You almost need to have like 2 or 3 because the battery pack only goes so far. That's the first thing you find out. So you have what they call these little lighthouses, little devices that you sit at doorways to say you only go this and don't go any farther. Mm-hmm. So you kind of zone off the office. And in my case, I zone off the back part of the office, and this is where the Roomba goes. And so you can do it a couple ways. You can either press the button. Let's see if I can press the button. So when you get ready to go, you hit the clean button, you turn it on, and it does its little pattern, and it does it in a strange way. It does these random patterns, and there's even an FAQ on their website that says, why don't you do like, up and down, but no, they found that random patterns actually do the best to clean up things. You can let it go, and then when it does its thing and realizes that, hey, it's done all it needs to do, it automatically goes back to the charging base station and puts itself to sleep and charges back up again. You can also do, I don't know if you can see the button here that says schedule. So you can actually set it, do it up higher. There's a button down here that says schedule, and you can actually set it to go at a certain time and a certain day, and it'll just automatically do its thing. So if you want to do it middle of the night, you can do that too. Here at the office, I tend to do it in the afternoon because we're a little bit quieter in the afternoon. I'm not comfortable with letting it do it at night all by itself, mainly because every now and then it does go over a cord or something and it'll get stuck. So sometimes I'll hear it and going, how come it's not running around? How come I keep hearing it stuck in one office and I have to go out there and turn around and make it go on? But yeah, you can just basically turn the button on, let it go, and it'll go back to its home and put it to sleep.
Yeah, I know. You leave it working at night, and it goes to the coffee pot, shooting the breeze with its buddies. Never gets any work done.
The funny thing too about the
smoke break.
Because obviously you need to register for the warranty, but they also allow you to name your robot.
Okay. So okay. Do we need to have like a contest? What is Susan's Roomba name?
And I have 3 of these at home. I have the carpet, I have the vacuum cleaner at home, I have the mopper, and I have the floor scrubber. And think of old TV shows and housekeepers for old TV shows. Well, one of them is a current show. I shouldn't say one's a current TV show and one's an older show.
Like Harriet or something?
No, not quite.
Old TV shows.
Matlock.
No, it's not. Well, think of housekeepers.
Oh, Alice.
No, we didn't like her. We didn't like her.
Jim was saying it at the same time.
We liked. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Courtship of Eddie's Father. Old TV show. Anybody know that one? Not see-through Bill.
Courtship of Eddie's Father. What? No.
Google it up. It's Mrs. Livingston.
Okay.
No, Mrs. Livingston. And then we have Mr. French.
Oh, Mr. French.
Yes.
That's right.
And now I'm pulling a blank. Who's the guy from Downton Abbey?
Esmeralda.
No,
that's what I would name mine.
I forget the guy's name from. We put a label on it anyway. I'll have to look it up. It's the butler from Downton Abbey is our vacuum cleaner.
Okay. Not the Jeffersons?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, I do like them. And if you are a cheap geek and don't want to go full price, if you look out on Newegg, they have refurbished models.
Do they come with bugs?
No.
Okay.
The standard, they didn't come off the line, and so they put it back. through, and so
buyer's remorse, more or less. The wife
Yeah.
said, "Take that back." Yeah, I know those kind of purchases very
but
well.
they were
So we had guesses in the chat. R2D2, CP30. It's actually C3PO. There, chat room. Bugba, Hazel, Alice, Wheezy, Aunt B, Shirley Jones, Mr. Stuff Shirt. I don't know what that is. Esmeralda was my guess. Besides Alice, I thought Alice was great.
Susan, what kind of job does it actually do? I mean, I've always been suspect that those things actually do anything, right? I mean, are they any better than those hand sweepers that you use, or
actually,
does it actually
well,
work?
first off, they're better because you're not having to do it.
Right, but I mean, so it runs all the time. Is it actually cleaning anything?
Well,
I just
because-
haven't trusted those.
Because you tend to run it more often. I mean, if it does not work on heavy pile carpeting. So if you have really, really heavy shag, I would say no, this is not for you. But especially here in the office where we have that industrial low pile stuff, I mean, it absolutely, and we've got like dead bugs in the corners and things like that, that it's picking those things up.
Oh. So it does corners pretty well?
It does corner, because it has this little, I don't know if you
It's got those
probably
side
can't
brushes, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's got
Those
this
little
little
feelers.
side brush that rotates around, and it
Yeah.
kicks things out of the corners.
Nice. All right. Fair enough. I need one for my servers that would like come off the top and come down and clean off the dust off the front and the dust off the back.
I just need a hurricane fan to kick on like once every 2 weeks and just blow the dust bunnies right out. Okay, so does it have a connector? Is it Windows 10 compatible?
Well, I don't know. I think it's like browser and platform agnostic. It's just a button that you press.
That's true. That's true. Hey, one last question before we let you go. 2016, when are we going to see these servers? When do the bits come out and we get to like not have to search and dig for them?
They have been very quiet on that. Like I said, I'm hoping that now that 10 is out the door, we'll start to see them. I mean, my big questions, and getting back to the 10 stuff, 10 to me is a big, big change, especially in the patching. I mean, the way they're doing patching now with 10 is huge. We will see if it stays like this. For those of you that do not like to install Windows drivers, you have no choice right now. It is an all or nothing, and my big question is now that 10 is out the door, and usually servers are built on the same platform as the desktop operating system, what's going to be the patching story for the servers? I mean, I can't imagine that server administrators are going to say, oh yeah, sure, install those drivers, and install everything automatically and have the same kind of current branch for business, current branch, insider branch. I don't think they're going to let them get away with that. So that's going to be my first question: is what's the story on patching on servers? They've been very quiet on that 2016. I mean, when was the last time we had a 2016 eval? I'm trying to think. Let's see.
They've been so quiet about it. I mean, it's just
they've been very
honestly
quiet.
not in conversation, hardly.
Yes.
Has anybody, Susan, have you worked on server 10 at all? Have you kept up with that? I mean, I installed that when it first came out, but then it's been so quiet.
And like you, I mean, when they did the very first one, and then they came out with the second one, I installed it in this latest 2016 in particular. And getting back to what I started to say and didn't finish up, I feel like it has 3 versions. The Essentials one, which has the full GUI that doesn't freak you out. You open it up and you're like, looks like 2012 R2, everything's in the same place, and you kind of go, same old, same old. And then the full server versions, they have Core, for those of you that are into PowerShell, and then they have the new GUI one, which when you install it, there's really no full GUI client. You have to actually go into PowerShell and turn on what I would consider to be like a 2012 R2 GUI interface.
Mm-hmm.
And so our big thing was like, oh boy, who moved my cheese? And are you guys, because especially like if you get, for those of you that do server administration during your day jobs, you'll know that like some of the HP support stuff, they need the .NET stuff there. They need to have the GUI client there. There's certain things that the HP and the Dell service stuff needs to have in place. And so we're going like, hey guys, we're going to have to turn this stuff back on automatically to even like put the HP and the Dell stuff. And so they're saying, yeah, we're going to work with Dell and HP so that their monitoring platforms won't have to have all the GUI stuff, because again, they're trying to get it leaner and meaner. And then, okay, so that's the traditional server platform. There's a brand new one that Jeffrey Snover, Mr. PowerShell dude, is waxing poetic about all the time, and that's called the Nano server. And you know, when you first heard about it, it was kind of like, oh, they're making a little tiny server. Well, no, that's not what they're talking about. Nano server is going to be cloud, 100% cloud-based, PowerShell command line. They're making it to be lean, mean, and thin, and that's kind of like for the big guys in the enterprises. They're putting a lot of resources in what they call Nano server. That's their next big server story, is a total cloud, kind of fighting Amazon Web Services kind of story. But again, it's been kind of quiet since, because mainly I think they've put 110% resources on Windows 10. So I think they've pulled people off of the server a bit and put everything on Windows 10. And now that 10's out the door, they can start to pull back a little bit and start putting more resources back.
I think the work begins now. This is the scary thing, right? I mean, I know we've been talking about 5 million testers and whatever, but I still think we're maybe 2 or 3 months away from them pulling resources back in farther. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of work to do. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of things that go wrong.
Yeah, plus gauging the reaction to what just happened,
Yeah, no, it's going to be huge, with all those PCs going live. So I just think we have a little more time. I mean, I'm agreeing with you, Susan, but I think we have a little more time.
The hint that it may, literally they've not given us any date whatsoever right now. The only hint that it may be sooner than we even think, if you go to the latest blog post on the SBS Essentials blog, again, it's blogs.technet.com/SBS, and you scroll down to the bottom, unless he's taken it off. Oh, if you scroll down to the bottom where they have this interesting little statement, he says, with the release of Windows Server 2016 Essentials, all client software will be available and no intervention will be needed. And the way that statement is so, precise about, with the release, like it almost, obviously it doesn't give any kind of timeline, but it's almost hinting that it's sooner than you and I think.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a shock if they came out and said, like, end of the year, or they never do it in December? But wouldn't that be like, because we have heard nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crickets on the server side.
And keep in mind that server doesn't have to. The reason why 2010 has to come out now is they have to meet the back to school, getting that code into the OEM manufacturers. And obviously for servers, there's not the same back to school kind of push. But yeah, we'll have to see now what happens. And you may be right where it's going to be 2 or 3 months before they gear back up again.
I think it'll come quickly, like you're thinking, maybe like they've been doing it quietly behind the scenes, not trying to distract anybody with it. So they're throwing out Windows 10, thinking, or late spring, early summer. They'll just kind of drag that out for a long time until it finally gets here. So I think the next couple days will be very, very interesting to see. We'll start getting news here this week and maybe next on how this rollout is going and just what we hear, and I think that's going to tell a lot of. I mean, they're pivoting faster than they've ever pivoted, so I would think if it goes bad, they're going to keep all resources on Windows 10. I mean, it's all hands on deck until that's buttoned down. Mm-hmm. So I just think watch your updates. I think they're going to come even faster than we've been. I mean, we've almost been seeing daily updates, and I think they're just going to come even faster.
Yeah, the people behind the scenes are kind of anticipating the first month is going to be, a little rocky with lots of updates, and they think that after that first month, and it's true. I mean, you look back in history of any of the major updates, the April update of 291 KB 2919355. You remember the 8 to the 8.1 through the store. The first couple of weeks, the first couple of days, you're going like, oh my gosh, and then it kind of settles down, and they weed out the big issues.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Wow, so we have a lot to monitor. We have a lot to watch. Actually, a lot of information came out in tonight's show, so I hope that someone's out there in the homeservershow.com forums and has kind of created something for us. I will put a lot of links in the show notes for this episode. If you're catching the tail end of this video or listening on audio and you want to get these links and get some of these questions answered, please look at the post for this podcast, homeservershow.com. I'll have links to the forums. I'll have links to all of these hotfixes and the client connector availability for from Windows 7 all the way up to Windows 10 RTM. It's all available in these posts that Microsoft has posted for us, and how to get these things installed, especially on Windows 10. If you're a 2012 R2 customer, you're going to have some things to do. You've got homework, and we will help you through it. And obviously there's going to be more questions in the future surrounding Windows 10, and we will be able to field those questions on the homeservershow.com forums. And if not there, we've got this little thing called Surface Geeks, so head over to surfacegeeks.com. There's probably some questions and answers going on over there as well. Now, we're going to stop this podcast. We're going to cut it off at the hour mark. We can pick this back up at a later date, but I'm going to uninstall Stardock Modern Mix and Stardock Start 8. I'm going to uninstall those two first, and then I'm going to click Next, download and install updates. So I'm on 2012 Essentials. I'm on a domain, and it's a Core i7. I've got software out the wazoo. I'm going to let you know if everything works, and I guess I'll report that back in the forums. All right. Anything else, Jim?
All good here.
All
Thanks
good.
for coming on, Susan. Great seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you here in end of the year.
I'll see you in Vegas.
Yep. Hey, don't forget November. We think it's in November, right?
I'm not going to be there in November because I'm going. Hey, I have a good excuse. I have a vacation with friends. We're going to Paris and Tuscany.
Yes,
Nice
that's
rock.
a good call.
That
is a very good call.
Good call. I just got back from Italy, so absolute great call. I can't blame you whatsoever.
All right, we'll miss you. What are we going to do without you there?
Like every good geek, I have rented XCOM Global MiFi units to provide me with wireless access, both in France and Italy, so I will never be out of connectivity.
Okay, well, I was told by the family that you will not do that while we were on vacation. So that's and it was a good vacation. Italy is fantastic. So is France. I didn't get to go to Paris, but I went to Marseille. Jim, thank you very much for coming out. Home Server Show once again. Susan?
I should say merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you for podcasting. Somebody find me that in French, and we'll put it out there. Don't forget the Geeks Network, thegeeksnetwork.com. More fantastic podcasts like this one. We're going to call this one a quits. Home Server Show 286. Thanks again to Susan. We'll get you out here before the end of the year, and we'll get an update on everything that's going right and wrong in the server world and SBS and Essentials and all that kind of good stuff. Thanks, Susan. All right, guys. See you in the forums. 1 hour 24.
Wow.
I don't think we heard anybody from Cleveland, did we? I hope not. Anybody in the chat room anywhere near Cleveland?
It didn't feel like an hour 24. That's a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, it was busy.
I still can't get that connector on 2011. It's just broke. I troubleshot a whole bunch of stuff. It just will not load on 2011.
I got so many tabs open.
Send me the error logs, because honestly, I have not tried it on a 2011 yet. Do I have 2011?
It's not a big deal. I'll give it some time. So here's the deal, right? So I installed the hotfix, thinking, well, maybe that will, or the the link that you dropped in there, right? Well, that installs the connector, right? So now I have the 2012 connector on that box I was doing 2011 on. So I wanted to connect it to the 2011 box.
Oh,
so,
got it.
And you can't install that hotfix, right? Once it installs, it doesn't show up in the uninstall box.
No, it's seen as a security update. It's in the Windows.
Oh, so I could go in through the Windows Update and uninstall it. Okay, that's a good call.
2012 R2, they moved it from being a programs and features section to Windows Update. So everyone goes, where is it? I can't uninstall it. And you're like, you can. They just get it.
We just don't want you to.
Yes.
We really like it. Okay,
That's
so
good. Thanks for reminding me of that. It's because I went to uninstall it and I'm like, crap. So I didn't think about looking in the security updates.
The worst thing about all the different versions, I mean, I don't know if this is a sign of just we're getting old or what, but because literally they've changed so many things through the years, somebody will say something and you have to sit there and think, okay, now, what version? What did it do? You know, was it this way or that way? And
no, right on. It's harder, and there are. I mean, I was looking at the link you sent to the matrix, and they've got 3 different boxes: 7, 8, and 10. And here's what works and what doesn't work. And it's like, how does a single person remember any of this stuff? I guess you don't. I guess you always just come back to the documentation.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go into the security updates and see if it'll let me uninstall it. So I guess I'm in Windows 10 now. I'm going to do that from the update area. Where would I go? Where do you think I go on Windows 10? Is that going to be in the updates and security? It must be.
Yeah.
So so I got to find the latest updates. Recovery? No. No, I don't think it's there.
Hang on, let me get my 10 up too. Because, oh yeah, you're right. It is slightly different in 10.
It is. Yeah, and all of a sudden it's like, oh crap.
And I was like, okay.
Where is that?
Windows key I? Isn't that? It's Windows key I.
It is. Hold on.
Windows key I. Well, yeah, that gets you in the settings, but where in the
right?
So okay. Where is those? Where do you go to uninstall those security?
Updates and security.
Right.
Okay, so now that you're in Windows Update, it's got to find it. Advanced options.
Okay.
Just type in on.
View your update history.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Now uninstall updates.
So I imagine it would be this one. Let's see here. So just click on it, right, to install it?
Yes.
Uninstall Windows Server. Yeah, so it's, it even says Windows Server Essentials Connector. Update successfully installed. Uninstall. Oh, I don't want to. Well, yeah, it'll give me a choice which ones I want to, right? All right, there we go. Oh, so it goes back into the old school.
Yes.
Update uninstaller.
Still there.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. They haven't changed that one yet. Okay. So let's uninstall it. And then I'm going to try 2011 again. Let's just see. Here, well, I can't share this one with you. Shoot. So that's not it's a hot fix, but the connector's embedded in the hot fix, right? Susan?
So is it still failing?
No, well, I just got it uninstalled. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the connector. One moment, please. So the connector is embedded in the hotfix, right? Is that what they've done? They create
for the 2012 R2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was a hotfix, and then when you installed the hotfix, then you could reinstall the connector at that point. So download the connector, install the hotfix, install the connector. But I didn't realize the connector's in the hotfix.
Right.
At first, I know that now, but because it's not confusing at all.
No, not at all.
All right. Headed out to 2011. And it does work in Edge, which is good. No Chrome browser. I'm in Edge.
No problem.
Sort of. It's slow. There we go. Okay, download software. It's running. Run. All right. So I get to the point, it goes through, does the .NET check. And then it'll ask me for my password. All right, yeah, using the connector, blah, blah, blah. Next. Your computer may restart several times during the installation. Yeah, okay, next. Does some things. And then it should pop up the password. There we go. Now put in your 2011 password.
It is funny how it pops up the old control panel. Just like,
yeah, isn't that funny when you go in there?
How do I get to that? Now I got control panel home.
So Susan, this is the next after the password.
Okay.
And the error I get, now it's going to work because I think
just for those out there. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Look, see, I can see you can see the new control panel up front and the old control panel behind it.
That's funny. That's still in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's thinking, so it may not fail this time.
And I have to reboot, so I can't do it.
Computer description. Okay, it didn't fail this time, so I'm wondering if by installing the connector and uninstalling it and then coming back to 2011?
Spots.
Well, now you know a trick, right? So if you have people with 2011, have them install the 2012 connector, have them uninstall it, and then have them go back and do it again. All right, so I'm going to put Windows, put Win 10. Yes, wake up the computer. Yes, I want to participate in the program. Now configure. So it looks like it's going to be fine at this point.
Oh, okay.
So installed the hotfix, uninstalled the hotfix, went back to and then went to the connector on 2011, ran it right from the splash screen. It worked. I must have done that 8 times while you were talking, because I kept like, okay, I'll try this. Okay, I'll try this. Okay, try this. No, okay, I'll try the hotfix. Oh, that's the 2012 connector. How do I uninstall it? So.
Well, without it asking me, my Windows 10 install on my Surface 3 grabbed other applications from my account and started installing apps.
Oh.
Yeah, because I've got all these new icons. I've got all these apps that are new now. Crossy Road. I didn't install this. eBay. Fedora Reader, which I have on a different PC.
But you installed your Microsoft Live account, right?
Yeah, but it didn't ask me. It didn't ask me.
But I think my understanding is that it's if you log in with a Microsoft account, it's just going to pre-populate with the profile that you have
on a new PC.
Right.
Yeah, like you install Windows 8 brand new, it always asks you, do you want to set this up new or grab a profile?
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
This is just an upgrade. This is an OS upgrade, and it's just, maybe he wants Crossy Road. I'll install it. Well, mail, maps, money, that's new. Movies, TV. Oh, this is a slap in the face. I know I did not have this app on there. My Media Center. Right? The Media Center app that works, not the Media Center, but it's an app from Seton Corp called My Media Center. It installed, they went and grabbed that. This is weird. I don't think I had all this installed. There's a lot of apps on this little Surface 3. I can uninstall them. Okay. Excuse me, YouTube guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is an audio podcast. Thanks for watching the YouTube video for this long. We're going to shut off the stream now. Thanks for everybody in the chat room. If you're watching on YouTube or live out there in chat, please head over to the forums, homeservershow.com/forums. Join in on the chat room there. There's a brand new Windows 10 operating system section where you can put questions and answers, just general about Windows 10. And, of course, there are server essentials and Windows Home Server 2011 sections where you can talk about servers and all kind kinds of good stuff like that. Going to hit stop broadcast, but I thank you for tuning in and thank you for downloading the audio podcast. See you out in the forums.